Michael then rushed towards the giant, as the giant tries to punch her. She avoids it and climbs on his hand and moves towards the neck and says that only immediate judgment awaits him. Michael swings her sword and cuts off the giant's hand, and later she moves towards the leg and also cuts it down. The giant has lost both of his hand and one leg, but still he stands firmly and tells Michael that she is as merciless as always. The giant also asked Michael that if she thought that cutting off his hands will stop him. Michael points towards the cut of hand and says that she knows that it will grow back eventually. After that, we can see that from the cut of part and very small hand spouts. Michael then jumps and gets above the head of the giant. She then strikes the head of the giant. The attack was so powerful that the ground beneath the giant breaks, and he falls in the crack. Now, as the giant is gone, Michael looks at the blue dragon, as she will have to deal with it next. As she looks at the blue dragon, she sees that Jae-ik is standing in front of the dragon, showing his back, and the dragon is attacking with its flame breath. The flame covers Jae-ik, but he didn't budge a bit. The flames didn't harm him at all. His body seems to absorb the flames. His hair turns flamey, which looks to damn cool. Henael gets worried and rushed towards Jae-ik. As she is going, she is stopped by Michael. Michael asked her that, what is she so worried about, as her friend is the apex hybrid and he really has the talent of increasing his awakening levels in an instant. As the flame covers Jae-ik, he gets his reawakening. The dragon gets scared to see this scenery. As the awakening is complete, Jae-ik gets angry and he rushed to attack the dragon. He punched the dragon right on the head, and the dragon's head gets slammed on the ground hard. The dragon head gets a huge bump on where Jae-ik's punch landed. After dealing with the dragon, Jae-ik says that he didn't need the justice within him anymore, so he pierced his chest and takes the spearhead out. He then gives it to Michael, and she tells Jae-ik that why didn't he extract the spearhead from his body, as it would help him change, and it also has immense power. As Michael holds the spearhead, it turns into a full-fledged spear. She then reads the memories of the spear after reading that she looks at Jae-ik and asked him if he is the son of Seraphim. She also tells that she have met Seraphim before, and it seems like when justice entered Jae-ik's body and the demons were released from hell, his mother was also released at the same time. She then starts to tell them about the past when she met Seraphim. This is the incident when Seraphim is pregnant and she has been dismissed from her archangel rank. Michael says that though they never fought together, as archangels, their paths crossed often. When Seraphim had a child, she had to endure many trials and hardships. Everybody curses her for conceived a devil's seed. When Michael and Seraphim were talking, Seraphim tells her that no matter what others say, she will give birth to this children, as she never once regretted having this child. Michael then asked her about Baal, who is the father of Jae-ik. Hearing Baal's name, Seraphim gets angry and says that she regret very, very much letting that bastard disappear. Seraphim then asked Michael that how is her investigation going, as she is the one who is assigned to find Baal. After saying this, Seraphim gets away, cursing Baal. Michael tells Jae-ik that for some reason, the highest council did not stop Seraphim's childbirth, and that's how he was born. However, Seraphim's treatment after she gave birth to Jae-ik changed drastically. Since this was a very significant event that could lead to the birth of an apex hybrid. As soon as they got the apex hybrid baby, the highest council decided to imprison Seraphim in the bottomless pit of hell, putting down the greatest punishment of all, the creation of life from an inappropriate relationship. No matter how much Michael pursued justice, she thought, Seraphim's punishment was a bit unfair, but as an archangel, she could not simply express her true feelings like that because she know that once she start making an exception, she can't execute any judgment properly. After hearing her, Jae-ik says that he could feel it clearly when justice was inside him. He understand Michael's duty as an archangel. He could feel it if only for a moment. Jae-ik then asked her that what happened to him when he was a baddie. The highest council decided to abandon the child taken after sentencing Seraphim. That abandoned child that was sent and grew up in the human world, that's you, Michael replies. J-Ik says that he has never thought of himself as abandoned since he has good parents who raised him well. He has never seen his biological parents, but they don't seem to be of much significance in him life. As he is talking, he suddenly remembers something, and he panics and asked Michael about the time and says that he need to get back quickly. Michael asked him that why is he in a rush. J-Ik shouts that he has to go to school. Why do you need to go to school? Michael asked. Heenail replies that in the human world, if you don't attend school, you're not treated as a person. After that, J-Ik starts to run in panic as he thinks that he will be late and miss his attendance. As J-Ik is going, Michael tells him that Lucifer will for sure come looking for him again. So in that case, J-Ik's habitat becomes the most important place for her to stake out. J-Ik didn't understand it, so he asked her that what she means. After that in school, we can see Michael also gets admitted in J-Ik's school, and she is also in J-Ik's class. She introduces her to the classroom and tells everyone to call her Micha. J-Ik and Hanael is sitting there, and J-Ik tells that he feels that this would happen. After that, Micha chooses to sit behind J-Ik. As she is about to sit there, J-Ik tells her that it's Scalpel's seat. She tells J-Ik that Scalpel is probably going to be away for a while as he is chasing after Lucifer. Later, we can see Scalpel and Lucifer roaming around in mountains. Lucifer thanks Scalpel for saving his life. He also asked Scalpel that why did he bring him in this snowy mountain. Scalpel says that this is Mount Meru, and it is the border area between heaven and hell, making it difficult to track. Scalpel then asked Lucifer that if he is really the mighty Lucifer that he admired. As during his fight with Michael he seemed too cautious, or perhaps he has lost his strength. And if that's the case, then he might not be the Lucifer he thought he was. Hearing this, Lucifer looks at Scalpel with his big black eyes and asked him that do he looks weak enough for him to distrust him? Saying this, Lucifer moves his hand and a huge explosion occurs, which melts all the snows and flattens the peak. Scalpel sees this and gets amazed. While controlling the fire, Lucifer tells Scalpel that the truth is his power is tied up elsewhere, so he can only show this much. The power he need to reclaim is bound to the condition of bringing an equivalent power in exchange. So he thought about it. If he were to bring a power that was much more powerful than his, and when he go to reclaim his power, wouldn't he can get the same power as the one he is bringing in? So that's why he need the apex hybrid. Lucifer tells Scalpel to help him more assuredly. As once he regain his power, he will be equal to the apex hybrid. Hearing this, Scalpel gets excited and says that Lucifer is truly a demon worthy of his admiration, and he will follow all of his commands. Then I will assign you the task of luring the apex hybrid. We will lure him to a place where we can obtain an equivalent power to his. The one who holds my power is Baal. Lucifer tells this to Scalpel. Later at school, we can see J-Ik, Hanel, and Michael is sitting in their respected seats. The teacher gets in the class and looks for all the attendants. The teacher didn't find Scalpel at his seat, so he asked if he is absent, or will he be late. At that time, Scalpel comes from the window and sits on a seat beside the window. He comes in smoke form and gets assembled. He then tells the teacher that he is here. After hearing him, teacher warns him to respond immediately, or else he marked absent. Scalpel tells the teacher that he changed his seat so that he can be friends with all the other students. Before coming here, Lucifer gives Scalpel his dust transformation ability. Lucifer tells Scalpel to use this ability to hide and bring J-Ik to him. Lucifer also says that as Michael is with J-Ik, so he can't go there, and Scalpel will settle like a dust and become his proxy. Hearing this, Scalpel tells Lucifer not to worry as he will grasp this opportunity. Scalpel then looks at J-Ik and says that he is embarking on a new mission for the sake of his idol. The teacher then looks for Evie student, but he cannot find Azracel, so he asked if Azracel is not coming toady. At that time, a voice outside the room comes saying, "Yes, coming." This makes Mikhail, J-Ik, and Hanel shocked. After that, Azracel gets in and asked for forgiveness. He tells teacher that mixed up the address, so he gets late. After saying that, he pulls his chair to take his seat. Michael finds this Azracel a bit unusual. Hanel also feels the same. Azracel sits and says hello to his friends. Hanel finds that his speaking manner is also different. Scalpel, who is holding the gauge meter of Azracel, check it and sees that it still indicates red, which means Azracel should still be in hell. Scalpel dodges that this Azracel is not the real one. The fraud. Azracel looks at Scalpel and smiles while saying hello to him. Later at the hell, we can see the real Azracel, who is hanging on a cliff. The demon is also holding Azracel's leg, and he wants to drag Azracel to the bottom pits of hell. Azracel takes his pistol and points it at the demon and shoots him. Upon getting hit, the demon falls. But as he refused to go alone, he launched a last attack to take Azracel with him. Some tentacles emerges from the demon's body and attacks Azracel. Azracel jumps and uses his wings to fly around. Avoiding all the tentacles, Azracel rushed towards the demon, and upon getting closer, he, aging, shoots him with his pistol. The demon then falls in the lava, and Azracel safely lands on a rock. After that, we can see in heaven a person who looks like Azracel is standing in front of some statues. The man in is the middle, and the statues tells him that Azracel has failed, and the guardian angel that have sent in advanced is becoming viliated with human emotions. The statues also tells the man that as he is the brother of Azracel, he should be able to handle the situation as it is getting dangerous. The man is Azracel's twin brother named Iriel, and he is an archangel commander. The statues also says that someone must take responsibility for this entire plan, and the one who initiated the plan must take said responsibility. Iriel then says that that's too rash of a judgment. They should be looking at the bigger picture. J-Ix not even showing awakening progress to the extent needed so that they could call him an apex hybrid. Therefore, his plan is still in the initial stages. Hearing this, the statue says that deceptive behavior is unacceptable, and the Archangel legend must always be prepared for a crisis. If the Apex Hybrid awakens suddenly and joins the forces of hell, it would be catastrophic. So, what responsibilities do you want me to assume? Iriel asked. The statue's replies to bring J-Ik to heaven at all costs. Is simply bringing him sufficient? Iriel questioned. If you manage to bring him to heaven, the Archangel legend will take care of the rest, the statue's replies. Upon hearing this, Iriel accepted the mission and he comes down to Earth to get J-Ik. Back to the current timeline, Hanel finds Azracel suspicious, so she stares at him. So prove him Azracel. Iriel smiles at Hanel and asks if there is any problem and says that he really is Azracel. The teacher starts the class and tells everyone to settle down. He then announces that he will conduct a group project assessment, and the performance assessment will account for 50% of your school grade, making it the most crucial factor for your college admission. Hearing this, J-Ik gets shocked, and he looks at Hanel and says that 50% is like a miracle. Hanel replies that it's a perfect opportunity for someone who's not good at studying like J-Ik. Iriel asked Mikhail that what's a performance assessment? I don't know. Seems like some kind of test, Michael replies. The teacher then starts to select the group. He points towards J-Ik's group and declares that the 4 of them will be in a group. Hearing the teacher's words, Iriel and Michael misunderstands it and thinks that it is a group battle, and Michael says that they should get into combat mode. The teacher then goes through other student and decides to make another group. He takes Scalpel as the other group's leader. Scalpel gets nervous and he asks the teacher if he really is in a separate group than J-Ix. The teacher looks angrily at him and says that he is the other group leader. Michael and Iriel says that they expected this and they feel disgusting to compete against a low-level demon which is not befitting for them, as they are both archangels. The teacher tells that the others sitting beside Scalpel will be in his team. Scalpel gets sad, and one of the students gets up and tells the teacher to address them with their name. The teacher gets that and says their names, that Scalpel, Youngtae, and Enji are one team, and says that the topic for the performance assessment will be given right away. After that, we can see at the deeper parts of hell the demon Ngojom is roaming around while he is taking a simple walk. He hears that someone is calling his name. He turns around and he finds the voice quite familiar. As he turns, he sees Azrael, who is walking with a demon's head, comes to him and says that he has come here to negotiate, and he demands an absolution. Azrael also said that he has killed and bought Angolam back, and this would be enough to pardon him of his sins. Ngojom looks at Azrael and sees that he is dead serious. Ngojom then takes the hell calculator and calculates Azrael's sins and good deeds. As the calculation is done, we can see Azrael scores a +0.7, which means his good deeds are dominating his bad ones. Azrael takes a breath of relief. Ngojom is frustrated, but he has no choice but to grant Azrael the permission to leave hell. After that, Azrael tells Ngojom that he will be leaving now and start to fly away. Ngojom tells him to stop as the indulgence hasn't been fully issued yet. While flying, Azrael tells Ngojom to send it to his mail. He also tells that he should be receiving a penalty exemption certificate, not an indulgence. As he is not a being absolved of sin, he is just being exempted from punishment. Hearing this, Ngojom says that it's right and he need to revise the paper again. Azrael flies straight to heaven as he has been missing the smell of fresh air for so long. As soon as he gets to heaven, he decides to change and review all his works. But as he enters the gates of heaven, he gets shocked as a statue is in front of him. The statue says that why has he returned so soon, and furthermore why he is empty-handed. Azrael is confused as he didn't know that the statue is talking about. At Earth, the teacher tells that the topic for the performance assessment is conquering heaven and hell. Hearing this, Michael and Iriel get shocked and says that how in the world the weak humans are planning to do such a thing. Seeing this, Hanel tells them that it's not literally about conquering the real heaven and hell. It's a metaphor. It means that you are the master of your own. After that, the teacher tells that what is the essence of good and evil, what defines good and evil, and how has this affected us humans. Based on such insights, he expects a presentation. He tells the students to use their spirit of exploration to conquer the true meaning of heaven and hell. After that, the class ends. Michael gets out from the class with Hanel. As they gets out, Michael tells Hanel that she really hates tests and stuff like that. Hanel replies that even though there's no need for them to pass this test, but still they need to give their best. She also tells that she is Jayak's guardian angel, so she has a duty to help Jayak achieve his dreams. But it seems like you are getting too involved. You are too excessive. I know all about your unauthorized escape from the heavenly prison, and you did it to protect Jayak. Why are you so desperate? Tell me. There's no need for you to go to such lengths. It's not like you're driven by personal grievances like me either. Don't tell me. Is it love? Am I right? It's love, isn't it? Michael tells this to Hanel. Hearing this, Hanel also blushes. At that time, Jayak comes searching for Hanel. Seeing this, Hanel feels something and she wonders if she really like a human. Jayak then grabs Hanel's hand and asks her to help him out to complete the assessment. As Jaik holds her hands, Hanel feels that her face is getting hot. She feels the fluttering feeling. As Jaik comes close, her heartbeats start to rise. She turns away her face and tells Jaik that she will help him as she is his guardian angel. While the two of them are talking, Enji looks at them and she seems a bit angry. Enji then gets inside and Scalpel tells them to gather around. Scalpel tells that, since they all are in the same group, he expects a full cooperation. Scalpel also says that he will continue to monitor and track Jaik's team. and as they are a team, so they should act as one with the same purpose in mind. The boy named Youngtae tells Scalpel that who the hell is he to order him around. Youngtae also tells that he don't care about the assessment as he just wants to graduate. Enji thinks for a bit and says that she will help, and says that she is good at monitoring others, and she can also carry out sabotage. She gets closer Scalpel and tells him that let's make sure that JX's team doesn't succeed. Enji looks angry and has a dark aura around her. Scalpel tells that she is the real demon. Enji then looks at Hanel and thinks off a way to get rid of her. Later, we can see Iriel and Michael is talking at the rooftop. Iriel tells Michael that as they are archangels, they shouldn't care about this mere human test. While Azra'el is taking at that time, Michael summons her justice spear and suddenly throws it at Iriel. Seeing this, Iriel gets shocked and says that if she has gone mad, attacking the Archangel Commander out of nowhere. The spear stops at midway. Michael then says that her hunch was right, that he is the Archangel Commander Iriel, and the fact that the justice is not prevailing here makes it clear. Iriel then asks that if she really have to throw the spear at him to make it clear. Michael ignores his question and says that a lot of things are happening in heaven as the Archangel Commander has stepped in. Iriel asked that what the Angel of Justice is doing here. Michael replies that she is undercover trying to capture Lucifer. Lucifer isn't the problem right now. The highest council is applying direct pressure. So help me carry out the orders of the highest council, Iriel says. Michael then sums up all the situation and gets that the mastermind behind the plan to develop JX as an apex hybrid in the human world. All of this originated from Iriel's mind. Now back to the heavens, we can see the statue who is the highest council thinks Azra'el as Iriel. The statue says that they should arrange for support before Iriel go back to the human world. Now Azra'el gets the whole scenario. The statue says that they didn't think it was a good strategy to send Iriel alone to bring back the Apex Hybrid from the start. Therefore, the highest council has decided to provide him with a formidable army, and the throne has confirmed to be created for him, the Archangel Commander himself. Azra'el looks at the throne and thinks that it's impressive. He then gets up and sits on it and gives a sinister look and commands the heavenly army to go down on earth and start their task by taking down Azra'el. The Archangel Commander's throne holds the position akin to being the king of heaven. Actually, Azra'el always wanted this position. Even though they are twins, his older brother Iriel inherited the direct bloodline and ascended to the position of Archangel without any issues. However, there was only one throne. Azra'el did his best to pretend not to care and lived on. He even went to hell and played chess with the demons. He thought a free life was better than one bound to the throne. However, ever since his brother had taken the throne, he was constantly tightening the noose around Azra'el. Iriel summoned Azra'el whenever and wherever he was needed. In the past, they had a chat. Iriel, while sitting on the throne, informed Azra'el that even if he is his brother, committing to corruption cannot be tolerated by the heavens. He informed that such actions degrade the dignity of angels. Azra'el replied that since he has no throne to protect, he has no reason to uphold such dignity. After hearing this, Iriel said that he will have to demote Azra'el to a third-grade fallen angel and enforce stricter constraints on him. After that, a series of endless missions quickly followed. Like he was ordered to capture more demons, conquer the third region of hell. Even some trifle matters like bringing the remote control and even scrubbing his brother's back. Countless quests appeared for Azra'el until one day he was ordered to descend to the human world to assist in the awakening of the Apex Hybrid and bring him to heaven, even though he had been tasked with assisting in the awakening of the Apex Hybrid. But presently, he is sitting on the throne and giving orders, and he treats it as the perfect opportunity to seize Iriel's power. Deploy the heavenly army to seal Iriel. No, Azra'el on earth, he shouts as he orders. But in the end, he finds himself dumbfounded as the higher-up angels don't listen to any of his demands. The angels order him to bring the Apex hybrid himself. They told him to stop joking around. Azrael thought that disguising himself as Iriel will be beneficial, but he is still facing the same problems like when he was Azrael. They even harshly told him to shut up and to carry the mission given to him properly. On Earth, J-Ik is flying towards his house and lands into his home by breaking the window. His stepmom asked him why he didn't come through the front door. On the contrary, J-Ik's stepfather feels upset because a perfectly good window is now broken. J-Ik replies that his landing control is still quite bad. While sitting on the chair, he announces that he has something important to discuss with both of his parents. Both of his parents seem confused. He declares that as he has already blown his academic record, so he is just gonna give up on it. He will give everything he has into the performance evaluation. "Did you call out your mom and me for such nonsense?" his dad asks. He says that they didn't even have a coupon, but they still ordered premium chicken for J-Ik. His mom counters by saying this is not nonsense, because right now this is the most important thing for J-Ik. Why not just accept the destiny of an Apex hybrid and go to heaven instead of all this? His dad questions and tells him to think about it while eating the chicken. "Honey!" J-Ik's mom shouts furiously after hearing this. His mom says that no matter what, J-Ik's opinion is what matters the most. So she suggests to him not to listen to his dad and to do whatever makes him happy. After that, both of them leave J-Ik in the dining room. It makes him sad as he looks sadly at the chicken and says that in truth, he just wanted to state that even if he got to meet his real mom and dad, these guys will remain as his parents. He just wanted to talk to them about it, but he can't. In the next moment, both Michael and Iriel, disguised as Azrael, are sitting in a room inside a karaoke bar named the Monocoin Karaoke, and Iriel receives a call from J-Ik's father. His father reports that convincing J-Ik is proving more difficult than expected. "Isn't it because you're not persuasive enough?" Iriel asks, as he tries to blame the low-ranking angel. J-Ik's dad justifies it by saying that it's not his fault because he even used the premium chicken dinner card. Iriel compliments the angel by saying that it's impressive for him to use these tricks, but in the end, he gets surprised to see that J-Ik was not even swayed by it at all. "Could you bring him out now? As in him having a talk with his dad?" Iriel asks. The angel asks whether he should bring J-Ik right now. And then he notices that J-Ik's mom is talking in a call. He goes near the side of the door to listen to what she is talking about. He listens that she is reporting to hell. He says that she was acting all high and mighty, pretending to be on J-Ik's side. So he thought that she was trying to be a real mom for a moment. But ultimately, he sees now that this is just a mission from hell for her. He thinks that in that case, he will have to carry out his mission too, as he can't fall behind compared to that demon. He tells Iriel that he will take a chance and try to bring J-Ik out. After that, he enters J-Ik's room and asks whether he is studying. J-Ik replies that he is researching for the performance evaluation without knowing a thing about it. His dad says that studying must be hard on him, so he suggests him to take a break by going to karaoke with his dad. J-Ik glares at his father and states that he has only been studying for less than an hour. His dad quickly apologizes for disturbing. But J-Ik conveys that starting to work on the presentation is half the battle, so half of the work is already done. So, he might as well take a quick break and agrees to go to the karaoke. Meanwhile, at J-Ik's home, his mom is still talking with the demons. How is the subject of observation? Does the Apex hybrid have enough potential yet? The demon asks. Demoniac replies by saying, not at all. J-Ik is just like an ordinary human because he's focused on studying right now, just like any other human his age. So, in her opinion, The legends of the apex hybrid seems to be exaggerated. The demon replies that he got the gist of it, so he will end the communication. At hell, another demon asks what demoniac said. To the demon who was in call with demoniac, the demon replies that they should never trust demons like her that easily, and it seems that demoniac, while in her role as the mother, was contaminated by human emotions. The other demon adds that it's most likely that so-called motherly instinct and love is indeed the most vile of emotions. Moreover, it seems she's deceiving herself about being the real mother, and if that's the case, then new agents are needed urgently. Where can we find some fresh blood for the job? The demon with the spear on his back asks. The other demon replies that their most powerful agent that they had on standby is already dispatched to the human world. In the human world, both J-Ik and his father are already out and are heading towards the karaoke. Haniel followed them because she felt that something was off, so she is glad that she followed J-Ik because he vanished from school as soon as it ended at Mach speed. "Dad, what will you sing?" J-Ik asks while climbing the stairs. His dad replies that he is all about rock, so he is going to blast through the ceiling and the entire building with his voice. J-Ik is so happy that he can blast into tears as he thinks that he is going to make new memories with his dad. At that time, upon noticing that nothing J-Ik and his father are coming, Iriel tells Michael to hurry up as they are launching the Apex Hybrid's capture operation, so he tells her to help him out. In the next scene, a woman is filming as an actress of a story. She receives a call. She tells them that it has been such a long time since they last talked, so, since they haven't contacted her, she became a leading actress meanwhile. The Azrael tells Michael to set up the marking in the room where she is right now. Upon setting up the marking in the room, she asks whether this should be enough. Azrael replies that if it's Michael's justice, it should be a solid foundation. And now, just by adding the Archangel Commander's seal to this, it will be the perfect beacon. He suggests that when it's the right time, they will request for the absorption light. After some time, J-Ik, along with his father, enters the karaoke in order to sing songs. Upon entering, J-Ik's father asks J-Ik what song he will sing. J-Ik replies that he will sing an old song. At that very moment, he meets Iriel disguised as Azrael. Iriel greets J-Ik by saying that it's been a while. Additionally, he says that he wonders whether J-Ik is happy to see him again. He conveys that it was easy to find this place since everyone is gathered here. Is he a classmate? Nee looks quite mature. He's not a friend who repeated a grade, is he? J-Ik's father asks while teasing Iriel. Iriel assumes that J-Ik's father wouldn't recognize him because he's a mere servant, moreover. He says that it is also because of their workplace being different, so he might not have seen Iriel's face even once. Workplace? Is this friend of yours already working? J-Ik's dad asks while being confused. Then J-Ik tells Iriel that he doesn't have much time right now as he is going to sing with his dad. At that moment, Michael comes forward. J-Ik asks Michael whether she has come here to hang out too. Michael replies by saying yes. He tells Michael that he never knew that this karaoke was this famous, and asks Michael if she is done using this room or not. Michael suggests J-Ik to use this room instead as she is already done with it. After seeing this, Iriel was relieved. He smirks as he says that soon J-Ik is going to be summoned to heaven. Right at that moment, Azrael arrives. Azrael gets shocked as he sees his twin brother disguised as him. Similarly, Michael gets astonished as she spotted the twin brothers together. Upon grasping the situation, Azrael attacks Iriel with an impactful punch. The wall cracks and breaks and Iriel gets hit in the parking lot and falls to the ground. Azrael then gets out from the wall that was initially cracked by flying. Then J-Ik notices something which he recognized from earlier. He says, "This must be Michael's spear which she accidentally left here." He is amazed with the lighting effects of that stuff. He blushes as he thinks that Michael might be a better friend than he thought previously, because she left him with this kind of setting. Meanwhile, Michael is running towards the cracked wall. What am I supposed to do now? She wonders as she can't interfere with the matters regarding the brothers. She realizes that as an archangel just standing by and watching them fight isn't befitting of Justice, and also even when her spear named Justice is crying out. Inside the room, Jae-ik was still amazed with the stuff as he assumes Justice is crying as a mere lighting that even has a vibrating effect. "What are you doing to your own family?" Iriel asks while sitting on the ground. Azracel replies that it's precisely because of this very own family that his life was always miserable up to this point while bringing out his dual guns. He says that it's Iriel's time to be miserable now as he shoots the bullets towards Iriel. All the bullets get blocked as Iriel makes a powerful barrier while rotating his palm. Iriel says that this mere cheap trick won't work on him. Azracel replies that he predicted that much, so the bullets were just for distraction's purpose, because this was enough for a coup. The other bullets hit the connecting walls of the parking lot, making it unstable, and in mere moments, one by one, all the cars started to fall. Iriel asks Azracel whether he desires to take the position that Iriel holds in the angel realm. Azracel boldly replies that this is like a golden opportunity for him to defeat Iriel while he is still being restricted in the human realm. Moreover, he concludes that perhaps they can even swap their lives completely, or just the positions. At that moment, Heniel enters the karaoke while being puzzled. Michael notices Heniel and asks Heniel how she got here. Heniel replies that she was worried about Jae-ik. After hearing this, Michael coldly replies that it's not her place to be concerned about, and as it's the decision made by the Supreme Council, so she should have followed it, as it is. In addition, she conveys that Jae-ik will be soon summoned to heaven by the absorption light, so it's only natural for low-ranking angels, such as Heniel, to follow the greater good. Heniel gets upset as she bows down her head. But after seeing how Jae-ik is enjoying his life to the fullest with his stepfather while singing, Heniel closes her eyes to realize and remember about her duties. She states that as a guardian angel, she needs to protect Jae-ik, and that's both her job and duty. As I expected. "Did you fall in love with Jae-ik?" Michael asks, because she thought that these sentiments coming out from Heniel are rather excessive, which shows lack of control over emotions. Heniel justifies herself as she says that there's nothing wrong with her emotion because she is sensing something deeper, something more simple and pure. Michael explains that the feelings Heniel is feeling now are practically how the emotion of love influences someone. Michael tells Heniel that it seems she has already lost her objective as an angel. On the contrary, Heniel is listening to the melody, and the song seems rather familiar to her. Meanwhile, in the battle between the brothers, almost all of the cars have fallen. Presently, Iriel is surrounded by cars, and one of them falls and crashes onto him. Azracel laughs as he suggests his brother to take a break while being stuck between the cars for a while. In other words, he suggests that Iriel should take a long vacation somewhere that's neither heaven nor hell. "Who do you think I am?" Iriel asks as his hand pierces the top of the car. Iriel snaps his fingers in order to call his army. He states that he is the Archangel Commander, and he has his own army to protect him. When the Archangel Commander is in danger, that army is ready to provide support anitame and everywhere. At that moment, Azracel gets startled as he notices a meteor coming from the sky. Currently, Heniel is reminiscing about the time when she was an intern angel. Now, have all of the interns gathered here? You all know that today, the most important examination is taking place, right? The examiner questions all of the interns gathered there for the test. He concludes that this test's results will affect their overall performance evaluation. "Intern Heniel, are you present?" the examiner shouts. Henael replies by saying yes. The examiner tells Henael to listen to the sound of the prayers, just like how they practiced. Henael starts to listen to the prayers made by the people of Earth. I hope this coin will make me rich. I hope she will accept my confession. I wish the stock hits a jackpot. Please let this exam go smoothly. Please give me this. Give me that too. Buy me something delicious. Give me some money. There were various requests like these. Henael gets a bit upset as she thinks that there are still people who are making wishes like these. The examiner enlightens Henael by saying that humans are bound to be selfish. They always depend on others to realize their desires, and that's why they need the intern angels. At that moment, Henael heard the same melody, and the one who sang that song was none other than the younger J-Ik from the past. J-Ik, come here. What are you doing there? J-Ik's mom asks. His father tells him that they have to go home before dark. J-Ik tells them to wait for a minute. After that, J-Ik shouts while seeing up in the sky that today, in his English class, he learned a new song, and if there really are angels, he wants them to hear this song and grant his wish. After hearing this, Henael smiles as she finally decides to help this kid because out of all of the wishes that she heard, J-Ik's one is definitely the purest one. The examiner agrees to Henael's request. He says that he will put that into practice, and he gives her a time limit of 5 minds to complete her job. Henael transcends to the human. Hello, little boy. What do you want to wish for? Henael asks, after appearing in front of J-Ik. Are you really an angel? You're not just some cartoon, right? He questions, as he is still being confused. Henael replies that he sure has a lot of doubts as a kid. J-Ik states that he only has one wish. He says while smiling that, since the people have already cut his hair into a bowl cut, he wishes to live happily with both of his dad and mom. Moreover, he also wants them to stop fighting all the time. Henael, while making a happy countenance, tells J-Ik that he is indeed a kind child because most of the kids around his age usually only wish for themselves, for things like toys or games mostly too. J-Ik justifies that his parents raised him well to the point that he doesn't need to wish for those kinds of things. He conveys that his life has been exciting so far. He tells her to look that he even has the legendary bowl-cut hairstyle, and because of this hairstyle, he has become the #1 most famous kid in his school. So he only wishes that both his mom and dad will live happier than him because there's still plenty of time for him to be happy in the future. At that time, an anonymous man comes into view who notices that the little kid is talking alone as he couldn't see the angel. After listening to all of J-Ik's wishes, Henael tells him that she will send him the blessing of happiness so that his family will surely live in happiness. And someday, if she becomes a guardian angel, she hopes she can be the guardian angel of someone as kind-hearted as him. J-Ik can already feel the emotion of happiness running through him. He asks Henael that when that time comes, would she like to become his guardian angel? Henael replies while smiling that she can't make any promise, but rather she hopes that that will be the case. Can angels also make a wish? J-Ik questions. Henael answers that, of course they can, but only when they really want that wish to come true. Thus, she wished to become J-Ik's guardian angel that day, and presently she is overjoyed to see that her wish has finally come true. Meanwhile, in the battle, Azrael is firing pistols to stop the meteor, even though he knows that using these pistols to stop that thing is as if he is throwing eggs into a rock. It's literally a pistol versus a meteor, which can't even be compared with eggs and rock. In that case, he decides to face it directly because he must be strong enough to do that much. He flies towards the meteor like a bullet and smashes it into pieces. The shattered pieces fall onto the ground, and some of them also fall onto the cars. Not only were you pretending to be May, you even dared to confront me? Are you sure you can handle the judgment? Iriel asks furiously while lifting his hand, pointing at Azracel. Suddenly, lightning strikes and Azracel falls onto the ground due to the shock. Iriel flies and floats on the sky while telling Azracel that his position in heaven is nothing but a mere servant right now, and it's finally time now to sever their affectionate bond as a family, as both him and Iriel are nothing but separate individuals who bear different fates. "Michael, have the preparations been completed?" he asks while floating. Michael replies that it's located and perfectly on the target. Iriel snaps his finger while laughing as he says that he can complete this mission earlier than he thought. At that moment, many parallel coincident circles, radiating golden light, come out of the karaoke, which reach the sky while illuminating it. The light which is radiating is none other than the absorption light placed by Iriel and Michael to capture J-Ik. Inside the karaoke bar, J-Ik and his father are being lifted by the mysterious light. The light pulls them upwards like a miniature black hole. At that same moment, in the convenience store on floor 1-1, the classmate of J-Ik is also being pulled by the light. The same thing happens at the basement. One of the gangsters affiliated with Ushi Jim is being lifted by the light, and all of the people who were inside the building are being transferred by the absorption light. Hanael runs while shouting J-Ik's name and voluntarily goes near the absorption light in order to get J-Ik out of this mess. She shouts that she would protect him. The girl classmate of J-Ik gets annoyed to see Hanael and the underling gangster finally found J-Ik, who probably crippled their boss, Ushi Jim.